What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to From the Top Rope with Andrew Crawford. I'm your boy Andrew Crawford, the GOAT, not the GOAT, but a GOAT. Close enough, am I right? I think I'm right. And today on the channel, I will be talking about my top 10 main events for Wrestlemania. And when I say main event, this has to be the last match on the entire show, or night one, which I really think there's only one night one main event. So yeah, spoiler alert, not a lot of pre-Attitude Era Manias on this list, and honestly I think I got maybe one Attitude Era Mania main event. I think the Ruthless Aggression era was where the Mania main events really started picking up like steam, and not to mention there's 40 to choose from, so narrowing it down to 10 was a little bit of a struggle. But let's talk about it. Number 10, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 31. Due to the build for this Mania and all of the no one cared that it was going to be Roman and Brock. Everyone was dreading it, and everyone was praying that they both found a way to lose. They did. Seth Rollins, who had won Money in the Bank in 2014, cashed in, ended up winning the WWE title, becoming the first out of two wrestlers to cash in at Mania in an iconic moment. But people forget the match between Brock and Roman in of itself was not bad. Better than it had any right to be. That's due mostly to the fact that Brock just kind of spent the majority of the match murdering Roman until Roman got like a little comeback, and then Brock hit the F5, Seth's music hits, cash in, 1, 2, 3. And the reason that this is 10 and not higher is just for the sheer fact that Roman and Brock it may not be exactly the same thing, but it's very similar to John Cena and Randy Orton, as in, I'm sick of it and I'd be fine if I never saw it again. And knowing how many more matches these guys would have after, I'm just kind of not that high on it anymore. Now, if I'd made this list prior to WrestleMania 34, it would be a lot higher. A lot higher. Anyways, on to the next. Number 9, Edge versus Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match. This match deserved a full crowd. This match deserved a 70,000 seat stadium, as did the women's main event on night 1 of Sasha and Bianca. These two matches in a nearing post-pandemic era of professional wrestling happened, and it was so iconic to watch. You know, Bianca and Sasha did kill it, and props. I will never not love that main event. I got to watch it with a few close friends, and I know how much that match means to me. But Edge, Bryan, and Roman put on a triple threat match that you could honestly throw it up there with some of the other all-time great triple threats. And I'm not going to argue, because it was fun. There were so many times that I thought Edge would win, so many times I thought Bryan would win. But the match ended with Roman Reigns beating both men to a point where he pinned them both, stacking them on top of each other, pinning them, walking out, continuing what would be a historic reign as Universal Champion for the next few years. Love that match. Think it's absolutely fantastic. But it's not better than the other 8 matches on here. Number 8, WrestleMania 26, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The year before this, Undertaker and Shawn went out there and put on what I consider to be one of, if not the very best professional wrestling matches in all of professional wrestling's existence. And I'm not talking just WWE, I'm talking Omega and Okada. It's not Taker Shawn. Jericho and Omega, not Taker Shawn. Styles and Shinsuke at Wrestle Kingdom 10 is not Taker and Shawn. And you know what they did a year later? I'm just like, let's run it back, only this time put it in the right spot and let it main event. They did that. It did the exact same thing. Burned the house down. Only this time, there were stakes. And I'm not talking medium rare, I'm talking major implications for professional wrestling. The streak. 17 straight wins at WrestleMania. Could he make it 18? Could The Undertaker go up to 18-0 at WrestleMania? Versus the career. A legendary professional wrestling career held by none other than Shawn Michaels. This match ended in the most amazing, just wow way ever. Shawn Michaels refusing to die, pulling himself up and slapping Undertaker across the face, and then Undertaker would tombstone him out of existence, or at least his career out of existence. But great match, love that match, absolutely fantastic. Number 7, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista, WrestleMania 30. Now, I believe, in-ring wise, this is only the third best triple threat on this list. Because I have 3 and I already mentioned 1. But in terms of story, Daniel Bryan's everything about this just made sense. Between getting robbed of every opportunity he had, to fighting for his opportunity earlier in the night, to being taken out by a Batista bomb through the announce table. As he's being stretchered off, he pulls the whole, no, I'm finishing this out, goes back into the ring, concludes the match in a parallel to 10 years earlier with a certain man doing a crossface on Triple H, and then the parallel is Daniel Bryan's doing it to another Evolution member, Batista. Batista taps, and Bourbon Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, the Superdome, lost their minds, chanting yes, yes, yes. And it was a beautiful, heartwarming moment. Number 6, if the match before this, the triple threat, was in-ring wise one of the best, in terms of build, they gave this match a year of build to play with. The night after WrestleMania 27, John Cena and The Rock make it official for WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida. One-on-one, once in a lifetime. We're going to pretend WrestleMania 29 didn't happen. And while it wasn't even the best match on this Mania card, nowhere near it. It's like third. This match was fantastic. Yes, The Rock and John Cena are 2 guys that you don't normally put in that upper echelon of in-ring ability. Well, not this John Cena. And I think The Rock in-ring is slightly overrated. I said what I said. But somehow they drug out of each other a more than serviceable match. As far as Clash of the Icons go, and those once-in-a-lifetime dream match opportunities, this clears Hogan and The Rock by a good country mile at least. This was honestly a great match and a great ending. John Cena's he acts like he's going to do the people's elbow. He comes off the ropes, Rock, kip up, Rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. Rock wins. Honestly, it was right booking decision. Everything made so much sense about that whole match, that whole build. And honestly, if we pretend WrestleMania 29 don't happen, amazing. And it might even be... No, it's not higher because I think these other 5 matches are just... wow. Number 5, Edge versus Undertaker. Until last year, I thought WrestleMania 24 was the best WrestleMania of all time. And I still think it's number 2. No offense to WrestleMania 17. But I think WrestleMania 24 top to bottom was just so stacked and loaded. And meanwhile, WrestleMania 17 does have its forgettable moments. Anyways, Edge and Taker burned the house down. And the build made sense. The victor made sense. Everything about this match made sense. You know, all year Undertaker keeps coming up short against Edge. Edge is getting away, escaping with the title, being the cowardly heel that a good heel should be. Undertaker gets his shot and he overcomes all the interference. Gets hit in the head with one of the production cameras, which, that was a big camera, bro. And locks in the Hell's Gate, Devil's Triangle, whatever that submission was called, I forget it. But locks it in on Edge. Edge taps. Undertaker walks out of WrestleMania 16-0 at the event. Great match. I love this match, and it really helps that 2 of my 3 favorite professional wrestlers of all time are in this match. And 2 men that I believe are 2 of the 4 greatest of all time. So, I mean, what can you really argue? Number 4, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, WrestleMania 39, Night 1 main event. This was years of build from Kevin Owens' feud with Roman Reigns in 2020, but it dates back even farther than that because California, PWG, is where Kevin and Sami made their names together. And then, 10 years later, they're main eventing the first night of the biggest professional wrestling show of the year in a tag team match against a tag team that you can legitimately argue, unless your birth year starts with a 198, the greatest tag team of all time. And the reason I make that little joke is, unless you're an old head, you probably think the Usos are the greatest tag team of all time, or you at least think they're up there. Kevin and Sami burned the house down with the Usos. It was an emotionally charged moment, from Jay acting like he was going to side with Sami to stab Sami in the back. KO and Sami's emotional reunion. Those 3 haluva kicks. The 1, 2, 3. The celebration. Yeah, had Cody won on night 2, I would be saying this is the second best match from that Mania. But no, it gets to keep its spot as number 1. Number 3, The Rock and Austin Part 2 at WrestleMania 17. Now, I don't like giving the Attitude Era its flowers, because I do think the Ruthless Aggression Era was better. But there was always something special about The Rock and Austin sharing the ring. Even now, 23, 24 years from that Mania, you will be hard-pressed to find a Mania main event, let alone a Mania match, better. Do I think they're better? Yes, of course, like very much so. But given that this is in 40 years, this is younger than the majority. This happened before we got halfway through WrestleMania. Up to this point. Like, 17 years into WrestleMania's existence, and there's still only 2 main events that I think topple it. WrestleMania 17 is one of the best, and it's definitely helped out by Rockin' Austin Part 2, but it loses points because that might have been the dumbest heel turn of all time. I said what I said. The only good thing about that heel turn was JR's call on commentary. Austin has sold his soul to the devil in this deep southern Oklahoma voice that would make you think he was shaking hands with the legitimate devil, which, given what we now know about Vince McMahon, maybe he was. I'm joking for the most part. But there are still 2 matches that they topple it in one way or another. Also, shout out to that My Way by Limp Bizkit video package. It fires me up. My Way is on my workout playlist because of this Mania, so shout out. Number 2, I think this is the best triple threat match of all time, and if you disagree, you've not watched it. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, He Who Shall Not Be Named. But He Who Shall Not Be Named is still one of my favorite professional wrestlers of all time. He is my definition of separating the art from the artist. Yes, what he did was terrible, but in ring, there are not many more that can go like him. In ring, I would put him in the top 3 ever. All around, probably nowhere near as high, but in ring, top 3. Triple H, all around, arguably top 6. Shawn Michaels, all around, also arguably top 6. These 3 men went out there and put on a spectacle and I've talked about it before, but WrestleMania 20 is the first match card I watched. So of course this main event is going to be like way up there for me personally, but even taking out my nostalgia for it, that moment of Benoit, said his name, sorry, not like my channel's monetized anyways, locks in the crossface on Triple H, the blood pouring from Triple H's head as he has to relent and relinquish his world title via submission, is an iconic Mania moment that, had Benoit died under better circumstances, would be shown in every WrestleMania video package ever from then on. But there is something that I think was better for. Let me explain. Number 1, Night 2, WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Now, hold up. Even before all the interference, let's look at it. Cody Rhodes lost at WrestleMania 39 in a heartbreaking fashion, was screwed over by Solo Sikoa. He spent a year chasing back, going through hardship, trying to get himself back to the idea of maybe just trying to get back to WrestleMania. And he did. And then The Rock and Roman winning the tag match in night 1, following up with Cody and Roman putting on a banger prior to all the loveliness that I'm going to talk about. The opening to night 2 was more dedicated to Cody and Roman than it was to any other match on the card. But even better, the end, like the last 10 minutes of Cody Roman 2, is like the portal scene in Avengers Endgame. First you had Jimmy super kick Cena, or super kick Cody out of the trifecta of Crossroads. Jay's music hits, Jimmy and Jay brawl at the top of the stage. Jay spears Jimmy off the stage through 2 tables. Oh my gosh. What's going to happen next? Cody gets 2 Crossroads in, Samoan Spike, the Samoan Spike spear combo from Roman and Solo. Cody kicks out. Cena's music hits. Cena takes out Solo. The Rock's music hits. The Rock comes out, stares Cena down. Rock bottom. Rock's got the belt ready to, like a weight belt. Those things are heavy, bro. Ready to wear out Cody Rhodes. The Shield's music hits, and for like 20 seconds, I was like, did Jon Moxley leave AEW without anyone noticing? Is Jon Moxley and Seth Rollins going to jump the Rock? That did not happen. I'm very sad about this. But no, it was Seth. He gets in the ring, gets laid out by Roman, and then gong. And, okay, to every Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, sit down and shut up. Let me drop some truth on you. Undertaker being involved made more sense because he has history with the Bloodline. That's more than just The Rock. He has a history with Roman. He has a history with Rikishi. He has a history with Yokozuna. It makes more sense for The Undertaker to show up than Austin. If you don't like it, bite me. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. Anyways, Undertaker comes out, chokeslams Roman, or chokeslams The Rock. Rock rolls out, gong, Undertaker disappears. And then, storytelling. The most perfect storytelling ever. 10 years later, after being stabbed in the back by his brother-in-arms, Seth Rollins, Roman picks up a chair, he looks at Cody, out of the corner of his eye catches Seth Rollins. Vengeance and selfishness cost him 1,316 days of history. And then Roman goes for a spear, gets kicked in the face. Cody hits 3 crossroads. And as each time the ref's hand hit, Michael Cole said a different word and finished the story. Samantha Irvin's emotional thing, the whole big celebration, it was perfect. I love this match. And last year, I think, was the best Mania of all time. This main event solidified it. It was the most WWE thing they could have done. But it worked so well. I love it. And that's the video. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Tell me about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I've been Andrew Crawford. I didn't upload last week because I uploaded twice the week before. I am going to try to stick to my schedule of weekly uploads in 2025. Yeah. Oh, unlike John Cena, I can see you, and I will see you very soon.